102 Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 5:49 in Whitesnake with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
It's going to be hot again today, like oppressively hot, like really super hot, humid, and a heat index of well over 100. It's 75 right now in downtown Springfield.
Hollywood Trash is brought to you by Western Mass Masons. Call them for all your foundation and chimney needs.
Somehow you still care about what's happening in Hollywood. So, from Tinseltown, 3,000 miles away, it's Steve Nagle's Hollywood Trash.
Brad Pitt needed to make some changes after his divorce from Angelina Jolie, so he went to Alcoholics Anonymous.
Why?
Dax Shepard's Armchair Expert podcast, he said, quote, I was pretty much on my knees and I was really open. I was trying anything and everyone. Anything anyone threw at me. It was a difficult time. I needed rebooting. I needed to wake the F up in some areas, and it just meant a lot to me. He said, I just thought it was incredible, men sharing their experiences, their foibles, their missteps, their wants, their aches, and a lot of humor with it. I thought it was a really special experience. Can you imagine being in an AA with Brad Pitt? Going, oh, I'm so sorry for your massive downfall and your millions of dollars.
Now, if you're in a meeting and Brad Pitt is there, can you tell anybody that Brad Pitt was at your meeting?
No, you can't. It's all anonymous.
Hey,
it's
Brad,
all anonymous.
Could you sign this paperwork that says that I was in class with you?
But it's like, he's probably not going to the Lutheran church in downtown Holyoke.
You don't think he's going to the...
No. He's going to a much higher class of Alcoholics Anonymous, I'm sure.
Are you sure he's not going to the Serenity Club in Springfield?
I'm pretty sure he's not going there.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's a little. I understand that he was doing something good, but can you imagine being another person in that meeting? This guy's here, Mr.
Let's hear how alcohol's ruined your life, Mr. Big-Time Hollywood star.
Gee, I'm sorry. Every woman wants to throw themselves. Oh, you poor. Actually, I'd feel bad for the 18 kids that she brought along with her. 78-year-old Cobra Kai villain Martin Kove was asked to leave a fan convention Sunday in Washington after he bit his co-star, Alicia Hannah Kim. For those unfamiliar with the show or Karate Kid movies, Martin played John Kreese. Alicia played another villainous sensei named Kim Da-eun in seasons 5 and 6. According to a police report filed by Alicia, Martin randomly grabbed her arm and bit down as she passed by him. He then allegedly kissed her arm when she yelled out in pain. Martin's bite was so hard that it almost drew blood and left a bruise. Alicia decided not to press charges even though she had a police report and photos taken. She said, quote, she says he, quote, was furious and outraged and visibly angry when I told him calmly not to bite me. He insisted he bit me for fun. But Martin apologized to her, when he was in front of the police.
Right.
What a weirdo.
You ever get a sense from some people, like you know exactly what kind of person they are just by looking at them?
Yeah.
That's one of those guys.
Yeah, but
I just get a sense he's a real knuckle-dragging meathead all day long. Just like the character. Like, that's really him.
Yeah, see, because a lot of them aren't like that. You know, they're not jerks. But this guy apparently is.
Apparently, you're not supposed to bite your co-stars.
Seth Rogen auditioned for the developmentally disabled character in the movie Geely, and he hopes no one ever sees the video. Please, if you have it, burn it. Please sell it to me. I will buy it. Okay. All right.
Keep that in mind.
By now, you've probably heard that we're getting a fourth Meet the Parents movie.
It's long overdue.
So far, Ben Stiller...
It seems so, I don't know, so unresolved.
So far, Ben Stiller, Robert De Niro, and Owen Wilson are returning along with the addition of Ariana Grande. What is this now? The kids are grown up? Is that what it is? And now they're getting...
that's right.
But Barbara Streisand might not be back. She says, quote, oh my God, they have to pay me a lot of money because I didn't get paid what the other people got paid, so I'm pissed off. I was in the time when women were getting paid less than men. The head of Universal was Ron Meyer at the time, and he actually sent me a bonus check. It was very sweet. Barbara starred in both Meet the Fockers in 2004 and 2010's Little Fockers as Ben's mom, Roz Focker. To get an idea of her pay, according to a 2011 report, she was paid $7 million for the Little Fockers, and Ben and Robert were paid $20 million. And Dustin Hoffman got $7.5 million.
Really?
Yeah.
And all this money that's going out to these actors.
Yeah.
Still worth doing a fourth one?
I guess
Is it really cost effective at that point when you're dumping millions of dollars into like 4 or 5 people?
Is it really anything anybody ever wanted?
No.
Do we need another movie in this series, or can we just come up with a new?
Isn't it kind of like a one punchline joke already? All right, we get it. Your name is Focker.
Yeah. It was funny when the movie first came out back in 1999.
But that was, 26 years ago?
Yeah.
I'm all set with it.
Let's see. With summer in full swing, you'll want to have the perfect playlist for your barbecue. Well, UltimateClassicRock.com ranked the best summer-themed rock songs that fit that bill. Number 1, Boys of Summer by Don Henley.
Oh, boy.
Number 2, Summer in the City by the Lovin' Spoonful.
Okay.
Number 3, School's Out by Alice Cooper.
Sure.
Number 4, Vacation from the Go-Go's.
Oh, yeah.
Number 5, Mr. Blue Sky from ELO.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6, Summer Breeze by Seal. All right.
Well, that makes me feel fine.
California Girls from the Beach Boys.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday in the Park by Chicago, and Summer of '69, Giggity, by Bryan Adams.
Wow. That's, remind me to put that one together.
Surfing USA's all the way down to the bottom of the list. I don't know, would have made that the summer song.
Yeah,
school's out, everybody's going surfing for the summer, you know what I mean?
I guess. I mean, that's what a weak and lazy playlist that is.
I don't know. Miley Cyrus had a meet and greet in London for her latest single, Every Girl You've Ever Loved, featuring supermodel Naomi Campbell. Miley and Naomi sat behind a table and signed copies for fans who then got their picture taken standing in front of said table, but in a video clip that's going viral, Miley and Naomi barely gave fans the time of day. Instead, they're mostly talking to each other, then looking up just long enough for the photographer to snap each picture. Well, what do you expect?
I have no idea.
These are people who are probably paying for this experience.
Of course they are.
Oh, here's $500 so I can get my picture taken with Miley Cyrus and Naomi Campbell. Would you pay that kind of money for that?
No.
Yeah.
Even for both, it's not worth a $500 payment.
And Kim Kardashian has drawn attention after stepping out of her custom gelato truck in Rome wearing a transparent lace jumpsuit.
She must have had something to say.
Oh, my God. The last time I dripped like that in public was when Ray J frosted my giggle gutters with his banana lava during that sex tape you can purchase on YouPorn for $39.95. You ever have the giggle gutter?
No, I can't say I have. Caitlin?
Well, I never got that done and dirty with your mother, Chris Kim, but let's just say she once did a knuckle-deep soul search in my fondue tunnel. She licked the lanyard on my key to the city and gave my zipper goblin a tongue bath like it was coated in Sweet Baby Ray's.
What are you trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is she slurped the sin stick so lovingly I almost changed my emergency contact to Mommy Mouth PhD.
Wow.
Emphasis on the D.
You know, I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
And that is your Hollywood trash on Rock 102.
Yoke.
And now, Bax's View from the Couch, brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, your grilling destination. Weber, Big Green Egg, Uni Pizza Ovens, and Traeger wood-fired grills.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? As many of you may have heard by now, the Boston Celtics have just traded away Drew Holiday to the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, I realize that Boston sports fans, the idea of trading players lately hasn't been a real positive experience. Red Sox unloaded Rafael Devers, for example, to the Giants, and everyone thought they were damn crazy. The Bruins traded Brad Marchand only to see him win the Stanley Cup with the Florida Panthers. And now, the Celtics have just traded away one of their best defensive players. Now, before you get your underpants all worked up in a bundle, let me explain why this might not be such a bad thing. Yes, Drew Holiday is a good defensive player, but in exchange, the Celtics will be getting shooting guard Anthony Simons, plus 2 second-round draft picks. Now, Anthony Simons, who in spite of an injured forearm, averaged 19.3 points per game last season in Portland. Drew Holiday only averaged slightly better than 11, but then again, that's not what the Celtics needed him for. On the other hand, the Celtics still owe him $72 million over the next 2 years. Simons is in the final year of a 4-year, $100 million contract with Portland, which means the Celtics will save about $40 million in luxury tax payments this year alone, giving them some freedom to figure out what they want to do after losing Jason Tatum to a blown-out Achilles. Plus, they get 2 second-round picks in the draft, which, by the way, begins tomorrow. In other words, the only loser in this deal is Drew Holiday. He's just gone from playing to one of the best franchises in basketball to playing up for straight-up trash like the Portland Trail Blazers. Trust me, it's not like you're going to see Drew Holiday hoist an NBA championship over his head next season, not unless he's traded somewhere else, which could theoretically happen since they'll be paying him $36 million a year to not make the playoffs for the 5th year in a row. No, folks, this is a trade that might actually have an upside unless you're the guy who's been traded to Portland, because in that case, it sucks for you. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. Steel, the orange and white outdoor power workhorse, famous for their chainsaws. They also make pruners, blowers, string trimmers. Mark at the South Hadley Rocky sells and services them. All of them. He's a steel-trained technician, and you'll find one at every Rocky's Ace Hardware location. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102, Springfield's
Hot town, summer in the city, back of my neck.
It's like
So frickin' hot outside.
it is. You know, when you walk outside at like 4:45 in the morning and it's like thick as pea soup out there, it's like, I don't know. It was cold in my house this morning because I had the AC going.
Yeah, right.
And that will continue to go all day long. I'll just have to take out a mortgage payment to pay Eversource.
It's 6:11 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. My dog yesterday. I don't understand dog behavior when it comes to heat.
Yeah.
He wanted to go outside so bad just to lie on the deck. And he'll go right up to the slider door out to the deck and wait for me to open the door for him. So I do. And I open a door, and he lies on the deck, and he virtually melts while he's out there.
What kind of lies is he telling?
No, he's lying down. He's not telling
Yeah.
fibbery. He's not telling inaccuracies.
I got you.
He's just lying down and melting. And then, like 5 minutes later, he realizes,
This is too hot.
Jesus, why am I wearing my coat?
Yeah.
So he comes inside 5 minutes later. 5 minutes after that, he says, "Oh, it's so cold in here. I got to go back outside." This went on all day long yesterday. 5 minutes in, 5 minutes out. It went back and forth all day.
See, my dog just laid on. He just was on the chair all day. He's like, I ain't moving. It's too hot out there.
I don't see now. Your dog as divisive as he can be. That's a smart dog. My dog is either going senile and doesn't remember how wicked hot it is outside, or something's going on because he's just not. It's just make a decision.
Yeah.
I'm opening the door. I'm cooling down the entire neighborhood.
So today it's going to be 99 for the high temperature, but it will feel like 107.
So the Weather Channel is saying that the high will be 101. That'll actually crack 100.
Okay, this is the Weather Channel.
Yes, but you're looking at East Longmeadow, right?
No, I'm looking at Springfield.
Really?
Excessive heat for Springfield,
Let
Massachusetts.
me look that up because I'm telling you right now,
Uh-huh.
I'm getting a forecast of 101, not 99, 101.
Yeah.
And it's already 75. Yeah, 101 in Springfield.
Well, I got 107.
That's the real feel. The feel-like temperature could reach up to 110.
But then tomorrow will be 94, and then Thursday, 77.
Oh, my God.
That means there's going to be probably a big, giant, kick-ass thunderstorm coming through here. Usually that's what that means.
Yeah, but when?
I don't know.
I mean, it's got to...
We have to pay attention to Liam Neeson for once.
and it's not just the heat. They will tell you it is also the humidity. And you know what? It is high. I've told you the whole thing about the dew points, right? How important the dew point is.
Oh,
And
yeah, dew.
Yeah, see, the dew point is the temperature in which dew forms on the grass, the leaves, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a 50-degree dew point, it's a nice, comfortable, dry day.
Right.
Once it hits about 60, then you start feeling it. Once you get like 65, you say, oh, what the hell's going on over here? I don't like the humidity. The dew point today is 72 degrees, which means it is going to be not just hot, but freaking stifling.
Yeah, it's nasty. I went out yesterday afternoon, and I took the vehicle. I actually took the van today because of the air conditioning. There's no air conditioning in that truck, which sucks.
Yeah,
but
it's awful.
But I'd rather be cool. But going outside and just being out there for just a few minutes, it's like, ugh, gross. But I went to Vegas last August, right?
Yeah.
It was hot, and there is a difference between the dry heat and the thing, but it's still hot. It was 117 degrees, which is still pretty damn hot. So for these people who say, "Well, it's really about the humidity," is it really, or is it when you get to 117, it really doesn't matter?
It does. I mean, I think. I had a friend of mine, an old roommate of mine, moved to Santa Fe.
Yeah.
Okay. So, he knew the way, and he went to Santa Fe.
Do you know the way to Santa Fe?
He knew. I didn't know the way. He knew the way. Anyway, he goes to Santa Fe, and he's working for a car dealership. So half his day is spent outside walking around the cars. And he said, "Man, you have no idea." I said, He said they say it's a dry heat, but even a dry heat is still heat. Mm-hmm. And I think it's uncomfortable no matter what you do, and they still tell you the same thing. You can't spend a hell of a lot of time out there. You got to hydrate. You can't do stupid stuff. You can't exert yourself and expect to be healthy and feeling great afterwards. You got to do the best you can.
Someone went on social media and asked a simple question. To the people who wear hoodies when it's 90 degrees outside, why?
It's a good question.
Some people had real answers, like they want to protect their skin or they're more comfortable in bulky clothing because they're insecure about their body. But people are like, I always wear it. It's like a security blanket thing. Yeah, a security blanket when you're cold.
Yeah, and that's fine. But when it's 110 degrees or the heat index is going to be 110, there's no reason to wear one.
I'm trying to hide my boobs. That was from a man.
All right.
I don't want to get bit by bugs, especially mosquitoes. Okay. Everybody is blasting so much AC that it makes me cold. See, that's the thing. You go outside. If you were to spend most of the day in this building where it's air conditioned, and then go outside, it's like walking into an oven.
Sure.
And then you get too hot, and then you miss it. You want to come back inside, but it's too cold inside. This is what your dog is going through at home.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know how deeply he thinks. He rarely verbalizes his feelings, but I just don't understand the thought process of it was too hot to stay out there, but it's too cold to stay in.
Too hot,
baby.
Yeah, I was thinking of that Kool and the Gang song.
Oh yeah, that's right.
A video is circulating online that shows a road buckling under the heat in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, that caused a car to go airborne. The car couldn't slow down because it's happening just as they were driving over it. And this thing like shoots through the air like the Dukes of Hazzard. And if you're looking for an ice-cold beverage to cool yourself down, the warmer heat has supposedly inspired a new trend of fancy ice at trendy bars and private parties. This ice could come in specialized shapes, be stamped with images, or contain things like flowers. This isn't a brand new thing, of course, but it's starting to take off again with the soaring temperatures outside. You want some fancy ice?
Do I have to go outside to get it?
I guess.
Can the fancy ice guy come inside and deliver it?
This is New York City. New York City Apple Bar or Big Apple bars. Oh, these pop-ups. I'm sick of the pop-ups. As summer officially kicks off and a oppressive heat wave threatens to melt the Northeast, New Yorkers will be venturing to rooftop lounges and chic watering holes to cool down, but with icy flair. They're happy to pay extra to have, because everybody wants to pay extra while you're in New York City.
Right.
Crystal clear ice delivered to their doors because in the world of fine cocktails, everything that goes into a drink matters, even the ice. Customers have come to expect it and even more. They're basically cubes with sayings on them and then like engraved ice or molded ice.
Who the hell needs that?
Some rich jerk who, was wasting money on things like that. While most people think of ice as a simple afterthought, it's already crystal clear to those in the know that ice plays a pivotal role in the flavor, presentation, and overall experience of a perfect drink. But if it's 100 degrees outside, the ice isn't going to last that long anyway. You ever get like perfect example, I got an iced coffee yesterday afternoon, and I didn't have my Yeti with me.
Right.
So by the time I got to my destination 30 minutes later, half the ice had already melted in the cup.
Yeah.
So
I'm
going to pay extra for ice?
I don't need designer ice. Crushed or cubed, I'm cool either way. I don't need to have fancy ice.
People are dumb.
They are really
They just
stupid.
really are dumb. And then what else is going on here? The perfect drink for a heat wave. A doctor in the UK is trending because she said milk is the perfect drink for hot weather.
Really?
Yeah. It's 87% water, but it takes longer to digest because of the sugar, protein, and fat, so it keeps you hydrated longer than water does. It's also got sodium to help your body hold on to the water. In other words, it's packed with electrolytes. You can make your own homemade Gatorade.
How do you do that?
It's really easy. You take like ice.
That's
That thing.
that's the word you stumbled at. You had a hard time retrieving.
I'm trying to think. Ice, a lemon, and water, and a dash of sea salt.
Oh yeah, and I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it tastes just like the lime Gatorade. It's actually or lemon lime Gatorade. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen.
So and you
Weather like this, you got to hydrate.
You really should hydrate.
Yes, you really do.
When you start when you go to the bathroom and you get gold, like it's like gold, like dark gold. Like that's when it's bad. You're dehydrating.
When it looks like you're opened up a pixie stick, then you know you got a problem.
Absolutely. So I don't know. Well, stay cool today. Get one of those cooling towels. Stay in the air conditioning. There's cooling centers open for those folks who don't have access to air conditioning. That's gotta suck.
I know it's. You know what? Check on the elderly. A lot of old people don't like the air conditioning.
They don't like the heat either.
I know, but the elderly can't be satisfied.
Turn down that thermostat. It's too hot in here.
I'm gonna catch a chill.
Is it like old lady hot? Like
Oh, yeah.
like in a car, they don't open the windows. It's just hot, and they don't put any ventilation in.
They just have the recirculating air.
It's almost like they're trying to kill themselves, isn't it? I don't know.
They do a lot of dangerous things through the course of a day.
Yes, they do.
It's 6:22 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
You hear that? That's the sound of
Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock. It's 6:26. And Green Day with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Liam Neeson has the full forecast.
Hey, if you ever miss a Bax and Nagle show, and you go, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. I missed the entire show. I slept late. I only drove to work in like 10 minutes, and I missed the whole show. You can always go back and listen to the Bax and Nagle on-demand podcast. It's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, the Rock 102 app, and SoundCloud. And it's all brought to you by Curry Honda in Chicopee. Experience the best.
Yeah.
And on Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock.
We had an issue with the show yesterday. I tried to upload it twice. It said it uploaded, but it didn't process. Like there was a problem with the SoundCloud, but now it is fixed as of 6:23 this morning.
So if you're wondering how come you couldn't listen to yesterday's show even after yesterday's show, now you can listen to yesterday's show today.
That was a good show yesterday.
It was terrific. Maybe one of our best.
I mean, if any show was not going to be listened to, it would be
this one right here. Yeah, I agree.
Are you ready to laugh?
Yes.
Let's laugh.
It's Bax and Nagle's Joke of the Day
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown. I amuse you.
on Rock 102,
I make you laugh.
Springfield's classic rock.
I'll never forget my grandfather's last words to me just before he died.
Really?
Yeah. He said, "Are you still holding that ladder?" Yeah, because he fell off the roof.
Ladder.
That was a horrible day.
Yeah, that was.
But at least we can laugh about it now.
Bax and Nagle in the morning on Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock.
Here's your 6:31 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's time for news. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Oh, Bax, it's going to be so hot out there today.
How hot is it?
It's going to be so hot, your electric bill is going to go up. When the summer heat cranks up like it is this week, so can your energy bill. 22 News spoke with experts at Eversource who shared advice on how you can do just that. And step one, suffer as long as you possibly can. The sound of potential heat wave with temps expected to hit 90s for 3 days in a row. Cooling systems you are using will be working much harder to keep your home cool as temperatures rise.
You don't say.
So does the energy bill. Well,
Really?
this is almost like this is like news to me. I didn't know that's how that worked.
Yeah, apparently if you use air conditioners, it takes energy to run.
Yeah.
Electricity fuels those things.
Olesa Stepanova with Eversource. Blame it on the Stepanova. Blame it on the Stepanova. Said our customers are using about 30% more energy during the hot months. And of course, I feel like Olesa Stepanova should talk like Sofia Vergara. Our customers use about the 30% energy during the hot months, and of course that is going to spike higher in the back-to-back heat waves. Even if you don't touch your thermostat, your AC is going to work harder to maintain that set temperature in your house.
Listen, I don't know Miss Stepanova. I don't know if she looks like Sofia Vergara.
It doesn't matter.
We
It's just the
should, but just
theater of the mind, Bax.
Okay,
You gotta
great what you must.
Yeah, Olesa Stepanova.
Listen, I think all of us know how to manage our lives in a heat wave. It's not the first heat wave we've had, and unless you're just new to the planet, I'm pretty sure you recall how to cool yourself down.
Keep your AC as warm as you're comfortable with.
Really? You don't say.
For every degree higher on the thermostat, the air conditioner will use 1 to 3% less electricity.
Okay.
Don't block the vents and let airflow freely to keep your system efficient. Run major appliances like a dishwasher during cooler parts of the day, but it's not cool during any part of the day.
Yeah, I know. Do you see the video that Dan did yesterday? Or was it yesterday or the day before?
Yeah.
Where he adjusted the thermostat down here? Because it was at 74 degrees in this room. And he brought it down to below 68. This morning when because I don't know why. I have no idea why. But in the area of the building where our office is or my office is, the thermostat is in my office.
Why?
I have no idea. And when I got in this morning, the air conditioner was set at 77 degrees. Who does that?
77.
77.
The temperature was set at 77?
Yes.
You know what? That happened last Friday. We had, you were gone, but we had a little barbecue here.
Yeah.
And it was a nice day outside, but everybody was gathered in the conference room, because there's no
other place
there's
to
no
sit down.
unmoldy seating outside. So somebody didn't get the pressure washer 20 years ago when they should have washed that deck furniture off. But so we're all sitting in the conference room, and I look at the thermostat and it says 76, and I go it's hot. It's hot in this room, even though it's a nice dry day outside. It's warm and it's too warm in here. So I turn the thermostat on to cool it off. But I'm like, I don't know anybody around here that walks around like a dad going, turn that damn thing back up. We can't afford it.
I mean, 77 is where it's set.
I know.
You wouldn't do that in your own home.
No, you wouldn't.
I got mine down to 59. Oh, I feel so good.
Yeah. Ooh, Olesa Stepanova's. All right.
Really?
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Makes you forget that your electric bill's so high. She probably doesn't talk like Sofia Vergara, but nonetheless.
Olesa Stepanova?
Stepanova, yeah.
No, she probably doesn't talk like that. But
No.
I'm already feeling a heat wave coming on.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Woo, I'm going to need an ice pack.
That's a good marketing scheme for Eversource.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, we have lots of bad news to deliver to you all the time. But what if we do it with a very good-looking woman? Okay, maybe the news doesn't seem so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Absolutely right.
Yeah. All right. They're doing good things over there.
They are. I'll tell you what, I don't mind paying the bill.
A pedestrian.
Fact,
but you're not getting anything.
I'll pay double just to impress her.
You know what? It can be like a cameo thing. Like you pay Eversource your bill, and every month she sends you a personalized 20-second cameo.
Yeah.
Hi, I know it's hot out there, but I'm here and I'm listening. So tell me what's bothering you. And then you can go off on your little rant of what's bothering you.
And she can come out like in the wintertime and say, are you a little warm?
You're a little too warm?
Is it too cold in your house? Let me see if I can warm it up.
You know those delivery charges will get you. A pedestrian has died following a crash on Bowles Street in Springfield Monday afternoon. According to the Springfield Police Department spokesman Ryan Walsh, officers were called to the 100 block of Bowles Street for a report of a single vehicle crash involving a pedestrian. The victim, an adult woman, was brought to Baystate Medical Center to be treated for her injuries. She died while at the hospital. The crash is currently being investigated by the Springfield Police Department Traffic Unit in conjunction with the Hampden DA's Motor Vehicle Unit. The vehicle and driver involved in the crash has not been located, and the Springfield Police Traffic Unit is seeking the public's help in identifying it. They have the car, and they have a license plate, but that doesn't... It could be a stolen car, too.
Yeah. I mean, that's possible.
Yeah. If you see this vehicle, it's like a white Acura, or know where it is, you're urged to contact the Springfield Police. But they put the picture out yesterday, and I was like, well, they obviously know who the car's registered to. They just can't locate the person.
Right.
So... in Holyoke Public School Committee meeting earlier Monday, the Healy-Driscoll administration announced that the school district will officially exit state receivership after
That's great
all
news.
these years. There are also other Massachusetts school districts under state receivership, and the city of Holyoke is one of them, but it will finally return to local control on July 1st. It was a proud day for the city of Holyoke as it regained control of its schools after being in receivership for nearly a decade. It's like a dream come true. That is something we have been working towards for a long time, said Vice Chair for the Holyoke Public School Committee, Yadalet Rivera Colon. Our dedicated educators, resilient students, supportive families, and engaged community have united this drive to success. The decision comes after the school committee made notable gains in graduation rates, reducing the number of suspensions, redesigning Holyoke High School, and expanding the dual language and pre-K programs.
And that's good. It was like 2 years ago, we were talking about how the city of Holyoke was trying to find their way out of receivership, but there was no explanation given to them on how to do it.
Yeah,
and so the state just continued to hold Holyoke by the strings and not give them any kind of indication like, okay, what's the procedure to get back into local control? It's good to know. That's great stuff.
How do we get this back in our hands? What can we do?
What kind of benchmarks do we need to hit in order to gain local control back of our schools? And for the longest time, the state had nothing to give them and wouldn't even return their phone calls.
Why?
I don't know.
Sorry, who's calling? It's Holyoke Public Schools again.
Please hold.
No, they're looking at the caller ID. Maura Healy's like, don't answer that. I can't deal with them right now.
To find yourself out of receivership, press 1.
Yeah, when you're the Holyoke Public Schools and you go straight to voicemail.
Right. Or it just keeps looping you around the entire system.
And you're like, it went straight to voicemail because you called the first time and it rang all the way up to the voicemail, but now you called the second time and you went right to voicemail. I don't know. I think they're up to something over there. They're not answering our calls. Well, they finally did, though.
That's
good.
The
receivership.
That's good.
Poulet Pool is one step closer for opening for the season in Holyoke.
Isn't it June 24th?
Poulet Pool. Monday, Mayor Josh Garcia announced the pool's filter has been fixed, and the city is adjusting the water to meet safety standards. Oh, with all that Poulet in there.
Yeah, right. Well,
the plan is to open the pool later this week, but if you're looking to cool off in the meantime, you can stop by several other pools and splash pads open across the city. That includes Feldman, Springdale, Pena Park, and Vega Park.
I'm telling you, it was just a Baby Ruth.
And he picks it up and he eats it. That is kind of gross, isn't it?
It's still, come on, it's still a funny scene.
It's a funny scene, but I don't know. It makes me sick to my stomach every time I see it.
Really?
I just watched it last week. I watched the whole movie last week.
Still a classic.
It is a classic, but it's also like that scene is just.
See, to me, that scene could only have been done by Bill Murray.
Yeah.
In that movie, the only one who could have pulled that off beautifully was Bill Murray. And he did. Every scene Bill Murray was in that movie was perfect, just like Rodney Dangerfield was.
A car fire on the Bradley International Airport rotary caused significant traffic delays early Tuesday morning. According to police, the fire was reported around 4 a.m. after receiving reports of the vehicle on fire directly on the airport's rotary. Emergency crews quickly responded to the scene, and the rotary was temporarily closed as firefighters worked to extinguish the flames. No injuries were reported.
Oh, can you imagine? You got a flight and you're stuck behind all of that?
Oh, that's got to suck. Because all the emergency vehicles are blocking off the lanes. So you're trying to get to the airport on time, and it's not working out for you because there's a car on fire outside of the thing. Can you imagine it in this kind of heat? A car fire? I know it happened at 4 o'clock in the morning, but it was still hot out yesterday morning.
I'd be more hot on the collar than I'm going to miss my flight because some guy is burning his car on the side of the road.
Yeah. Old people smell is a real thing. It's not just a mix of mothballs, decorative soaps, cabbage soup, and unwrapped butterscotch candies. Technically, it's body odor, but it's not hygiene related. There's a compound called 2-nonyl that's created by chemicals in the body breaking down over time. Old people secrete 2-nonyl, which produces their smell. But
it's like a pheromone.
But there's a chance you can do something about it. A report says eating mushrooms up to 4 times a week might help eliminate that, especially shiitake.
Hey, watch your mouth.
Oyster and button mushrooms. I don't give a shiitake.
Now, wouldn't just like firing like a hose on those people be enough?
No, apparently not. It's not like the Shawshank Redemption where they're getting thrown in the thing and hosed down with a fire hose and then lye is thrown on them.
Not like a Karen Silkwood power washing.
Right.
Yeah.
There are 2 national rare compounds found in mushrooms. They work from within the body to combat the formation of 2-nonyl. If you don't like mushrooms, there are mushroom extracts you could try, or possibly adding more legumes, peas, and soy to your diet.
Okay.
What about magic mushrooms?
I think at that point, you're so high, you don't care how you smell.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe you're just stepping I'm just a shell. I'm just a shell of this smell is not my smell. I am just the inner being inside this smelly shell. How about some shiitakes? That does sound like a dirty word.
It really does. Yeah,
shiitake mushrooms. You ever have a shiitake mushroom?
I have. They're delicious.
You've eaten shiitake?
I'm not afraid. I'm not ashamed to say I've had more than my share of shiitakes.
What about your shizu? Does your shizu eat shiitake? See,
I don't know if the shih tzu's supposed to eat a shiitake.
Well, maybe we should find out. Let's get a shizu to get us some shiitake mushrooms.
Yeah, I used to eat a lot of shiitakes when I lived in Shinola.
You ever have Takis? Just regular Taki?
I've had those too.
They're actually pretty good. Your Pioneer Valley forecast today is going to be hot. Hot and humid. Heat index of 107 or 104 or whatever, 101. It's going to feel really hot no matter where you are. Tomorrow, a high of 94. It is 76 right now in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Oh, yeah.
Springfield's Classic Rock at 6:53, and the Doobie Brothers with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Heat advisory, in effect, excessive heat until tomorrow night. It's going to be a high of 99 today with a heat index of 100 and something. It's 77 right now in downtown Springfield.
Join the Rock 102 Road Crew this Saturday for the 2nd annual Children's Miracle Jeep and Motorcycle Cruise, sponsored by Metro Jeep at Chicopee. Starting at 9 o'clock, you can line up and register at Metro Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram at Chicopee. The escorted ride will head to East Hampton and then end up at the Thunder in the Valley concert and fireworks event. The proceeds benefit the Children's Miracle Network at Bay State. So get your Jeeps and bikes ready for the 2nd annual Children's Miracle Jeep and Motorcycle Cruise, part of the Classic Rock Summer from Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock.
That sounds fun.
That does sound like a fun time.
Yeah, and the weather's not supposed to be too bad either.
Saturday?
Yeah.
All right.
What am I looking at Saturday? A little bit of rain, but not nothing crazy yet.
So they're doing the fireworks in East Hampton, like a lot of other communities will do.
Sorry, where?
East Hampton, Massachusetts. No, Steve, I'm not going down that road.
Why not?
Because it's.
There's a guy on a video talking all about East Tampon, Massachusetts.
Well, listen, you're gonna have to pull some strings for me to start talking like that.
Right, yeah.
And I'm not jumping into that kind of mess.
Right.
But here in East Longmeadow, which have been having fireworks for generations, no fireworks in East Longmeadow this year.
Why?
Because they're building the new high school behind the old high school, and that's where they used to fire those things off. Now there's no space for the fireworks. So now what they've got instead is a laser light show. Pew, pew, pew.
Light show.
Yeah, can you imagine that?
Oh, actually, those are actually pretty cool.
Those are pretty
laser
cool.
Light show.
Yeah. So there's going to be that.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is, does this mean they'll never be able to do fireworks again, or is it just for this year?
Well, it sounds like they're going to knock down the old high school, right?
Yeah, but that's like in front of the new high school. You're gonna blast off bombs in the front of the old high school, are you?
I don't know. I don't know how they do that. All that.
I have no idea either.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out.
Yeah, it will.
That would be a shame if they would never had fireworks here again. I mean, that's like it's a tradition. People come back here year after year.
And that, lots of people go to the carnival.
Yeah.
The East Longmeadow, carnival because of the fireworks, and also the fact they get to get blitzed outside.
I also would imagine though that a laser light show is a lot cheaper than setting off thousands of dollars of fireworks that you have to keep buying every year. As opposed, you just got to maintain the laser projector, right?
Yeah, I think that's all you got to do.
It's just it's like 5 guys with pointers, like pointing in the sky. Ooh, look at that. See, look at the green beam.
Yeah, I mean they'll
goes
do
all
it
the way up to a star.
They'll probably do it to music or whatever. It'll be awesome.
I'm sure it'll be fine. But it is like to never do fireworks again in this town.
So I'm asking because I got to tell you, there's a lot of changes going on here in East Longmeadow right now between a new high school, which has been needed for the last 35 years, the plantation man now at the Rotary in front of the East Village Tavern.
Can't get any more American than that.
The new paint job the old man got.
Yeah.
Everything else that's going on. It's like, man, what's happening in this town? Things are coming, things are going.
But still no drive-thrus. I did a video yesterday, East Lawn Medlar, Massachusetts. And the first town bylaw was, ye shall not put a drive-through window within 12 cubits of your neighbor's tulips. And that stuck till today. Unless you're a bank, of course.
Right, well, you gotta have
you
that.
can do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, things are happening, but there's still restrictions in place where we can't become, we need to move out of this town. I think that's
gonna be very hard to do.
You know what? We should go to a better place, like Longmeadow, perhaps.
Stop. Stop. That ain't never going to happen in a million years.
You don't think so?
Not in a million. I'll bet you nothing like that will ever happen.
I'll bet you a dozen bagels it happens. How about that?
You're on.
All right. We're moving.
No, we're not.
We will.
Staying here like there's an oncoming hurricane, and I refuse to leave. I've been here for 30 years, and they'll have to pry the keys of this building from my cold dead hands.
Actually, no, they wouldn't. You'd be like, oh, I'll be happy to go somewhere else. That's what you would say.
I don't know, Steve. I'm so connected to all the black mold and the rotting, mildewy portions of this structure.
Think of it as our grandpa passed away and new rich daddy is buying us a new place to stay.
I don't. I'm going to really enjoy those bagels.
Rich stepdaddy is coming in to buy us a new place.
It's 6:59 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock.
Oh, yeah.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock at 712 and AC/DC with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
It's going to be hot today, like super hot, 99 for a high, but feeling like much hotter than that with the heat index at 77 right now in downtown Springfield. Are you ready for another round of Am I the A-hole?
Yes.
Tipping. We'll go back into the tipping conversation. You ready?
Okay.
Am I the a-hole for tipping 83 cents? I went out to dinner with my wife last night. When the bill came, I gave the waitress my card. She came back shortly after looking upset. She slapped the card down on the table and said, "Declined." I thought her tone and brevity was rude. I took out a different card from my wallet and handed it to her. While I was putting the first card in my wallet, she didn't move. I looked at her and said, "You okay?" She said, "If I go back and try to run this, are you going to be still sitting here when I get back?" Ooh. Like you're doing a chew and screw, right? I asked her if she thought her tone was appropriate for speaking to customers. She said, "You're only a customer if you pay." I asked to speak to her manager. She left with the card. My wife said maybe the waitress had encountered scammers before and was anxious about it. I said being rude and being cautious are two different things. The waitress returned with my card and the slip fell out. She said, "This one worked. I'm sorry." I thanked her and took the booklet. Our bill was $91.17. I wrote in 83 cents as the tip and $92 was the total. I handed it back to her and started to get up to leave. She said, "You're really not going to tip me?" I said, "No, you were rude to me." She said, "I have to tip out the bartender and the busboy. I just paid money to serve you." Well, in the future, you shouldn't be so rude. My wife thinks I was the a-hole to the waitress and should have given her the $10 at least because it was an honest misunderstanding. I would have given her $28.83. Oh, this guy's like a math nerd.
Yeah, right.
If she wasn't rude to me, but I don't want to pay to be insulted. Am I the a-hole? For the record, I called my bank and the card was flagged for fraud for a pending $1 charge that is often associated with fraud attempts. I resolved it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you are.
You're being an a-hole.
Come on.
I mean, you really are.
You know what? At least tip the minimum.
The truth of the matter is, the one that really has inconvenienced somebody here is your credit card.
Right. It's your problem to begin with.
It's not the waitress's problem that your card got declined. She may have had an attitude, but she may have also have dealt with this many, many times, and it costs her money.
And that's what people are saying in the comments. I used to work at a retail store where people try to scam us with checks by signing their name really hard and thick, crossing over the account number onto the bottom. This would often cause the register to scan the check improperly. Or likewise, I worked at a restaurant where the occasional credit card would get declined. I would always simply say, "I'm sorry, it seems like our system is having an issue with the check or magnetic strip on the back. Do you have an alternate form of payment?" Don't blame the customer, blame the technology. The scammers would throw a fit. The legit customers would say, "Oops." Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, but you don't know. Like, you run into somebody who you're on a bad day. It didn't say she was, like, horrible throughout the rest of the experience.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe she just had enough. Maybe she has gotten screwed before.
I'm sure she has.
Yeah.
It must happen all the time. But yet, that doesn't mean you leave her an 83-cent tip on a $90 bill.
Yeah.
I mean, not her fault. How was the service prior to this?
I once got a coupon for $5 off an oil change.
You did?
On like a $40 bill.
Okay.
So I guess that was sort of equal to what, 15 or 20%, 15% would be on a bill. I also had this was Pizzeria Uno's back in 2000. So to spend $100 at Pizzeria Uno at the time,
right?
That's a lot of food. That means there's a lot of work. This four pack of people, $96 the bill comes to. They hand me $100 and told me to keep the change. And the weird thing is, like, single people, individuals, would tip way more than somebody who was with a group of people.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Maybe it's because you're kind of like you're on the spotlight because you're sitting by yourself.
You think they're doing this for show?
Maybe.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that would make you an a-hole.
Well, when you're by yourself, do you tip a little bit more when you're sitting by yourself?
I don't really know if there's a difference. I'd probably tip about the very same.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a decent tipper. But, I mean, even if it was...
Here's a tip. Get a better job.
Don't play with matches. A good safety tip from your Uncle Bax.
Right.
I would never shortchange someone on the tip. I may not leave a full 20%. I may leave like an 18%, but I'm not gonna insult them by leaving an 83% tip.
Yeah,
that's crap.
That's a jerk move.
Totally a jerk move.
Number 2. Am I the a-hole for not skipping a work trip because my husband is recovering from a hair transplant? My husband flew overseas for a hair transplant. We have 2 children under 7. I work full-time in a stressful corporate role. He never plans or researches in advance. I am supposed to go to work on a work trip for 2 days to a 2-day work planning retreat. It's an important exposure. He will be post-op for 3 days by the time I leave. Last night he texted me that he needed me to cancel my trip because he's recovering from surgery. Put him first, and I'm going to be beyond mad if you do this to me. If you do this to me and do not put me first, the one time I'm asking for, and if I do go, he won't take the kids to school. His head may be sore and bald, but should not impede a pickup and drop off. My trip has been planned for about 6 months. His main gripe is that he will be seen so close to surgery. He did not need to choose this date up until yesterday. That was the plan. He told me my trip is stupid. I put everyone first, but I don't think I need to stay home and miss something so important for this, and I also think it's selfish to be saying this to me. I am always impacted by his last-minute changes and impulses. I am supportive of doing something that makes him feel better about himself, but why should I miss this last minute? Am I being selfish, or is he being selfish? Update, I'm leaving for my work trip. I guess I left out some important details. We live in New York where everyone walks to school. We both work. I make more money, but he makes plenty, and aside from the temper tantrum, always takes care of our kids when I travel for work about 6 to 8 times a year. Yeah, if he could fly home from the surgery from an overseas trip, he can take the kids to school.
Exactly.
This guy sounds like a giant baby, a giant big bald baby with hair transplant.
I mean, he was man enough to drive all the way out to, I'm going to assume, Turkey, because that's the that's the country of choice for the balding. Anyway, he had no problem flying an international flight with this. Stop being such a big buttercup, a big crybaby. Suck it up.
Is that a thing? Turkey is the place where men go to get hair transplants? What?
It's the place. Apparently, they do some of the finest hair replacement work in the world at reasonable prices. And I gotta say, I have seen the after effect.
Yeah.
And it's not so bad.
I have no interest in doing that. I don't care.
To me, if you're bald, be bald. Don't be a guy that wears like a do-rag, and then like a cowboy hat on top of that. Be bald. Be proud of your baldness.
I'm bald.
Yes.
I have no qualms about it.
I mean, I'm not bald. I got a luxurious head of hair. I mean, it's thick and luxurious. But if I were the kind of guy who was having the male pattern baldness and had the big spot on the top of the head,
you just get rid of it all.
I get rid of it all, shave it down. I look like a total badass that way.
It was the best choice to get rid of it all.
I bet it was.
Yeah,
probably liberating for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I look like a badass. Look like I'm going to kick some ass when I'm walking down the street because of my resting bitch face.
Listen, no one was going to mess with Telly Savalas and Kojak.
That's right.
No one was going to mess with Hugh Brenner and The King and I. Who else was bald back then? Like shaved down.
I don't know.
Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean.
Who was going to go up in that guy's grill?
Well, if you wanted your housework done, I mean,
he'd hand you the supplies and you get it done yourself. That's what Mr. Clean was all about.
We should do one more.
Yes, one more.
Am I the a-hole for refusing to forgive my wife for having an affair when she claims the affair partner lied that I was sleeping with his mom? Listen, we listen and we don't
judge.
Pseudonyms are used. That's what he said. I, 55 male, discovered evidence that my wife, Jennifer, 53, was having an affair with Nathan, who's 23. Well, good for her. Wow. That's a little young there, Jennifer, but that's like Bill Belichick. Dude.
Yeah, that's no kidding. That's that's like Leonardo DiCaprio type of young.
Yeah. When I confronted her, she was aggressive and argumentative. She said I had no reason to act all high and mighty because I was sleeping with our neighbor and Nathan's mom, Naomi, who was 47. Jennifer was shocked when I provided proof that I wasn't. Jennifer then claimed that Nathan had manipulated her into having an affair. She said she felt insecure about her age and weight. She said I thought I didn't find her attractive anymore. She said Nathan told her that I was sleeping with his mom. She said Nathan told her that he couldn't believe anyone would cheat on her because she's so beautiful, which is pretty much what a 23-year-old would say to somebody who wants to get laid. She claimed that he made her feel loved. Jennifer showed me messages where Nathan had referenced my alleged affair with his mom. I had moved out of my house. Jennifer has been begging me to forgive her. She keeps referring to the fact that she was tricked. I still can't forgive her for what she did. Am I the a-hole?
Boy, I'd say not the only one.
You're the a-hole for not sleeping with Nathan's mom. Right. You might as well make it. You might as well make it even, Steven.
I mean, poor Nathan's mom's all alone.
Hey, Nathan. You know what? Since you're talking about this fantasy, you know what? Maybe I want it to come true.
Hey, your mom's a very handsome woman.
Yeah. And then you can say to Nathan, "Don't hate me because I'm beautiful, Nathan. Hate me because I effed your mom."
There you go.
See, we solve all the world's problems
sure
right
do.
here in one segment.
724 in Rock 102.
GG Inc.
Oh,
hey, radio show.
that little snuck up on me.
That's all right.
Okay, well, very good. It's 727 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
And Liam will have the forecast for you.
This week in Baxy's musical podcast, my guest is Brian Sweet. He is the author of the book Steely Dan, Reelin' in the Years. This is a biography he had done many, many years ago. It's finally coming out on paperback this August. It's actually a really interesting story about not only Steely Dan, but the partnership between Walter Becker and Donald Fagen. Really interesting stuff. You can hear that interview on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, the Rock 102 YouTube channel, rock102.com, and on the app. And it's all brought to you by Metro Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram at Chicopee and Rock 102 Springfield's Classic Rock.
Well, there you go. It is going to be pretty hot today. Like I said, Liam will have all the details and all that stuff. But it's like, I don't even want to go outside. Yesterday, I was like, oh, maybe I'll finish mowing the lawn.
Oh, no.
And then I got out, walked all the way to the garage, and I'm like, you know what? This is not the day to do this.
I got all my stuff done on Sunday afternoon because I knew what was coming, and I knew that the more time I spent outside yesterday and today, the more I was going to regret it. So I got all the things I needed done on Sunday in anticipation of this excessive heat warning, which means if you're going to be outside, don't.
Just stay inside.
Don't even think about it.
If you don't have air conditioning, go to a cooling center.
Don't be one of these dopes that's like, oh, I got to go for my morning jog today. No, you don't. No, you don't.
I can't. I saw bikes yesterday. These like group of bikes driving down Route 112 in Huntington. What are you out of your mind? It's how much do you need to stay in shape to be out in excessive heat like that?
Listen, I can't understand physical exertion to begin with. Never mind in temperatures like these. This is insanity.
Yeah.
You can skip a day. Today is the day to skip. You don't want to be out there because otherwise you're just going to melt.
You know, I was watching a TikTok video the other day about this guy who was making a complaint. Maybe it was, I think it was part comedy, but part seriousness about people who bike. He was pointing out his particular town, wherever he lived,
right,
that had 94-something miles of bike trails throughout his city, like 94 miles. Yet you got groups of bikes like hogging up the road. And it's like the whole reason why those bike trails were put in was so you don't have to go on into traffic and do that. Because, and why would you? That's like the one big fear of why I won't take my bicycle out on the road. Because look what happened to Dan Williams.
Right.
You know, Dan Williams got clipped by a truck just trying to stay in shape. And he became another shape because of doing it. You know,
mangled.
Like, I don't understand why you would physically put yourself in harm's way, and especially out where I live, where these roads, there's no like shoulder to the road. You're talking woods and ditches.
Yeah, and people driving, crazy, like the speed for a lot of those winding roads.
And it's not even the speed; it's people looking at their phones and swerving over to the side of the road. Like that doesn't. That's not appealing to me.
No.
Yeah.
We got news coming up next on Rock 102.
Here's your Western Mass News First Alert forecast.
Extreme heat continues once again today. There is an extreme heat warning in effect for central and eastern Hampden, Hampshire, and Franklin counties, and a heat advisory in effect for the hill towns through 8 p.m. tonight. Highs today are expected to reach between 95 and 100, with feels-like temperatures between 105 and 115, all under mostly sunny skies. Tonight, we remain warm and humid with lows between 72 and 76. Hot once again on Wednesday with highs between 90 and 94. With sunshine and a few afternoon storms possible. With your Western Mass News First Alert forecast, I'm meteorologist Liam Murphy.
You go out to
7:35 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's time for news. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Well, thanks, Bax.
Oh, you're very welcome, Steve. Happy to do it.
It is going to be excessively hot today. Like so hot.
How hot is it?
I don't even have those jokes. But it's going to be, the heat index is going to be over 104 degrees.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You know what? That's too hot.
There you go. See, I like the Coolio version of this.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I still like the Cool in the Gang.
Do you really?
No, not really. I'm just saying, but it's an appropriate song for a day like today on Rock 102.
At 17, we fell in love.
Anyway, I've had enough of this already.
I like Coolio. Do you have Coolio? Or is that make sure it's the clean version? I don't know
if I've got that here.
Well, if you just type in clean and it doesn't have the explicit E next to it, Coolio too.
All right, okay, clean. Let me see what I can get that here. Yeah. No, that one's filthy. That's another filthy one. Yeah, no, I'm afraid I can't get
too
the
hot. It's not clean.
Well, let me see if I can try it this way. Too hot. No, not that one. No. No, I got nothing.
All right, I got it. Right.
You got
here.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Here we go. All right.
We have to hire somebody. We have to hire a producer. You're fired. There you go. See? It sounds exactly the same.
Sure.
As the other one.
Yeah.
It also has that long intro to it. I'm trying to skip ahead to the lyrics.
No, I hear you.
Because it's going to be too hot. Everybody listen up, because I'm about to get my speaker on. Fools be tripping when it's time to get their freak on. Running around town, putting it down, without no protection for the erection. When kind for action, what's your direction? Before you make a choice, you better do some inspection. If you don't know my aim and don't know my game, then let me explain. Aisha slept with Mark, and Mark slept with Tina. And Tina slept with Javier. The first time he seen her, Javier slept with Loopy, and Loopy slept with Rob, because he was rolling on beats and had a good-ass job. Rob slept with Lisa, who slept with Steve, and Steve was positive HIV. What started off as a plan ended up in the plot. You better cool your ass off, because it's too damn hot.
It's too hot.
Too hot to hold. Too hot. Run for shelter. Gotta run for shade.
I can see why I like that one.
Hot, yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one right there.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I used to listen to that album all the time.
Did you really?
That was the Gangsta's Paradise. That was the Gangsta's Paradise in it. Yeah.
So you're just ripping everybody off. Ripping off Cool in the Gang, Gangsta's Paradise, the Stevie Wonder.
He's sampling.
That's ripping off.
It's not ripping off.
I call that ripping off.
Ripping off would be the exact same lyrics and the exact same tune. It's kind of like Vanilla Ice. He didn't rip off David Bowie and Queen, because his was da-da-da-da-da-da-da, whereas Queen is da-da-da-da-da-da. You have to add an extra chord to make it your own.
It's as clear as the nose on your face. You're absolutely right.
That explanation that he gave for that song
Behind the music?
Was like the way I would write book reports in high school.
No. That one's
No.
da-da-da-da-da-da. Mine was dun-da-da-dun-da-da-dun-dun. Totally different.
I know this looks like the text lifted directly from the textbook, but I added "and" a few times. It is now mine. Well, you know what? You're going to be the CEO of a hospital system one of these days. I was talking to somebody about that the other day.
Yeah.
It wasn't that Peter Banko from Bay State, it wasn't that he just plagiarized things. It is that he plagiarized it in a way where they were personal experiences. And he was making the blogs that he was writing like they were his own personal experiences.
Right.
That's a big difference too. I think that actually makes it worse. It's not that you're just copying and pasting text from like an informational fact-finding thing, but now you're also you're lifting someone else's thoughts.
Dear fellow employees.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that time I was chasing after that big white whale.
Right.
Back when my friends used to call me Ishmael.
Yeah. I once had an experience when I was a boy and was in a prep school and decided to leave the prep school and then travel across all New York City and maybe even get a hooker or two.
When I was about the age of 12, I got lucky to find a golden ticket in a chocolate in a candy bar, and I got to go inside a chocolate factory. And I got to tell you, it was crazy the things I saw in there.
I know. I cured my grandfather's disablement that he had.
His disabilities.
His disabilities.
Yeah.
I cured them all. That guy was in bed. He was crapping the bed all day long.
Yeah, and all of a sudden I bring home one golden ticket in a candy bar, and all of a sudden he's dancing like he's Fred Astaire.
And some people say he was faking it. But I know that it was the magic of the golden ticket that I brought home.
I mean, let's not think that my Grandpa Joe, was just some sort of old freeloader living off the kindness of my mother who was washing laundry for a living.
And then he gave me the key to his chocolate factory, which would I eventually turn into the Bay State Medical Complex.
By the way, please enjoy your summer.
It is kind of like a Wonkavator when you go into the lobby of Bay State. You're like, which way do I go?
Well, a couple months ago, I had a procedure where I had to be squeezed so all the blueberry juice would run out of my body.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I had the same thing. I got stuck in a chocolate chute.
How many hours were you in the emergency room for?
It was hours. There was another lady who went to this. There was these golden eggs that they had there.
Really?
And she fell down this chute because she was she was whining and crying all day long, and she finally And then there was another kid who got shrunk down.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Was he watching TV at the time?
He was. He was absolutely watching TV at the time. He loved TV. He loved TV so much he felt like he wanted to be in the TV. And you know what? Because they all dropped out of the race, I was the one that got the key to the Bay State Medical Facility.
Well, I remember after I had my surgery, they asked me if I wanted any saltines and some fizzy lifting drinks.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, you can't. You can't have this job. You stole fizzy lifting drinks. You get nothing. But you know what? He knew I had a good heart.
Yes, I've got a golden bedpan.
Yes. I've got some plagiarism. All right, we'll end it there. Your Pioneer Valley forecast. What?
We get any real news.
Yeah, that was real news.
Oh, yeah, okay.
In his eyes, that's real news. That happened to him. That whole experience happened to him. It is going to be excessively hot today with a high of 99, but the heat index well above that. Tomorrow, another hot day, but not as hot. Only 94 which it should feel like a cool breeze coming through here. It's 77 in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Oh, yeah.
How satisfied were you?
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 7:50 and Thin Lizzy with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
It's going to be super hot, excessive heat warning or watch or I don't know. You said it in your video yesterday. What is it, a watch or a warning?
I think it's a watch. And I don't know the difference between a watch and a warning or whatever it is. All you need to know is it's hot.
Yeah, it's super hot, like pea soup thick. Humidity hot.
So gross.
High at 99 today, 94 for a high tomorrow, so at least it'll cool off.
Hopefully be cool enough for you on Saturday. You're going to be the grand opening of the Tractor Supply in Ware from 2 to 4. Wow.
Yeah.
Find your favorite brands at Tractor Supply, seasonal supplies like propane grills, riding mowers, log splitters. Ever use a log splitter?
A lot. Yeah, I have. Those are neat.
I love a log splitter.
Really neat.
That is like the most... I don't like doing like physical work, but if it's one thing I like to do, it's a log splitter. That's awesome.
I was a teenager using a log splitter. I worked for a landscaping company, and we were splitting wood.
Yeah.
And this man, that just triggered. I can't even tell this story because it was this Cambodian guy that I worked with.
Yeah.
And he was very he was overstepping his bounds for sure. But he was telling me the ways of women.
By a log splitter.
Yeah. After
Okay.
we were splitting logs all day, he's telling me I can't even say it. But it was like you just run into people throughout your life and you're just like, wow, that guy gave me insightful but non-helpful information.
It's not exactly things I can use, but it is something I'll recall forever.
Well, let me tell you, the Cambodians know what they're talking about.
They sure do. Anyway, Steve is going to be there on Saturday from 2 to 4. Tractor Supply, 256 West Street in Ware with Steve and the road crew. Part of the Classic Rock Summer from Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock.
Country music singer Sammy Kershaw, right?
Okay.
He was stopped at an airport last month for carrying a loaded handgun.
Was that wrong?
Yeah. On May 28th, Kershaw was on his way to sold-out shows and festival dates. What sold-out shows?
Someone spending good money to go see him live.
I mean, sold-out show. I mean, I could get a 15-person theater and get 15 people in there and say, this is sold out.
Yes, you probably...
Anyway,
could.
he was on his way to sold-out shows and festival dates when the TSA flagged the singer's bag in Lafayette, Louisiana. The screening found a loaded handgun in Kershaw's possession, resulting in a $5,000 fine. It was early. I was half awake and clearly not thinking straight. I've seen songs about heartbreak and hard times, but not about forgetting to check my carry-on for a loaded firearm. That's a new one. And then, of course, Mass Live goes on to throw in the unloaded firearms that are locked inside of a case and ammunition are allowed when traveling by plane but can only be transported as checked baggage. You can't have a loaded firearm in a carry-on bag. They frown upon that.
Really?
Yeah.
Why would that be such a problem?
Oh, shucks. Did I leave my six-shooter in there again?
I keep forgetting to take that thing out.
And that's the thing. It's like if you have this in your possession, I have no problem with you having a firearm. But if the rule is you're not supposed to bring these on a plane, how do you forget? How do you forget something so valuable? You know what I mean?
Every time I've heard that excuse, I forgot that it was still in there. It's like,
no.
Every time I empty like a luggage.
Yeah,
I empty it. I take everything out. And especially if I've bringing a gun in my carry-on, which is about the stupidest thing you could possibly do, I'd be sure to remove it before I went to the airport.
Well, and who doesn't check the bag? I'm always constantly checking the bag before I even leave the house.
Sure.
Did I have this? Do I have this? Do you not stick your hand in there and go, ooh, what's that? Oh, that's the gun.
That's
the
gun.
gun. I forgot the gun.
There's like a bottle of shampoo. There's a shoe and some underwear. Ooh, a gun. Should have left that at home.
Well, shucks, folks. You can't blame it all on myself. I'm getting up there in age, and I'm singing all the hits about heartbreak, but I guess this is the first time for everything. Now I have a new experience.
Boy, do I have egg on my face. Sure hope I'm not holding anybody up for their flight.
Yeah, I can sing about guns, getting and not getting through the TSA.
Oh my God. What the hell?
What is it, the Harper Valley TSA? Is that what he's going to be?
Yes, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, well, there you go. Sammy Kershaw's an idiot.
It's 7:55 at Rock 102.
Bax's View from the Couch, brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, your grilling destination. Weber, Big Green Egg, Uni Pizza Ovens, and Traeger wood-fired grills.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? As I'm sure many of you have heard by now, the Boston Celtics have just traded away point guard Drew Holiday to the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, I realize that many Boston sports fans, for the idea of trading players lately, has been seen like it hasn't been a real positive one. The Red Sox unloaded Rafael Devers to the Giants. Everyone thought they were crazy. The Bruins traded away Brad Marchand, only to see him win a Stanley Cup for the Florida Panthers. And now the Celtics have just traded away one of their best defensive players. Now, before you get your underpants all worked up in a bundle, let me see if I can explain why this might not be such a bad thing. Yes, Drew Holiday is a good defensive player, but in exchange, the Celtics will be getting shooting guard Anthony Simons, plus 2 second-round draft picks. Anthony Simons, who in spite of an injured forearm, averaged 19.3 points per game last season in Portland. Drew Holiday only averages slightly better than 11 points, but then again, that's not what the Celtics needed him for. On the other hand, the Celtics still owe Drew Holiday $72 million over the next 2 years. Simons is in the final year of a 4-year, $100 million contract with Portland, which means the Celtics will save about $40 million in luxury tax payments this year, giving them some freedom to figure out what to do after losing Jason Tatum to a blown Achilles. Plus, they get 2 second-round picks in the draft, which, by the way, begins tomorrow. In other words, the only loser in this deal is Drew Holiday. He's just gone from playing in one of the best franchises in the NBA to a team that's straight up trash like the Portland Trail Blazers. Trust me, it's not like you're going to see Drew Holiday hoist an NBA championship over his head, not unless he's traded somewhere else, which theoretically could happen since they'll be paying him $36 million a year to not make the playoffs for the 5th year in a row. Now, folks, this is a trade that might actually have an upside unless you're the guy that's just been traded to Portland, because in that case, it sucked for you. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. Steel, the orange and white outdoor powerhouse workhorse. Famous for their chainsaws, Steels also makes pruners and blowers and string trimmers. Mark of the South Hadley Rocky sells and services all of that stuff. He's a steel-trained technician, and you'll find one at every Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch. Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 8:09, and Aerosmith with Bax and Nagle and Rock 102.
Excessive heat. Okay, here's the difference. We figured this out. A weather watch means it's been forecasted to happen. A warning means it's happening right now. So it's an excessive heat warning.
Okay, that's what I had.
Yeah, and a high of 99 today. It's 80 degrees already in downtown Springfield. It's only 8:09. It's 80 degrees. Isn't that crazy?
Well, like 2 weeks ago, it was like I don't know, cold.
Yeah, it was chilly. It was chilly last week.
And by cold, I mean like the high temperature was like a 59.
Yeah, I think that was last week sometime. It seems so long ago, doesn't it? But then Wednesday, I think or Thursday, it's going to be chilly again. So, well, either way, we're in the middle of this whole thing. It is so hot that people are just exposing themselves on beaches. Carver police arrested a Marion man over the weekend who say he exposed himself at a town beach.
He doesn't sound like the Marion type.
36-year-old John Cena pleaded. What?
John Cena?
I don't think
Springfield College's very own John Cena.
It's not the same John Cena.
Are you sure?
I am absolutely sure. Yeah, he was pleaded not guilty to a charge of open and gross lewdness during his arraignment in Wareham District Court yesterday. On Friday, June 20th, around 5:40 p.m., Carver police received a report that a man had exposed himself and performed a lewd act.
In Wareham? Sounds like he wasn't wearing them at all.
Yeah. A lewd act at Sampson Pond Beach on Lakeview Street. Officers responded to the area, but soon learned that the suspect had fled. Flogged or fled? Carver police then issued an alert to nearby law enforcement agencies to be on the lookout. Within 25 minutes, Marion police located and identified him as Senna.
Caught him red-handed.
Yes, he did. Carver police obtained an arrest warrant and arrested him on Saturday morning. He was released on personal recognizance bail during an arraignment on the condition that he stay away from the beach. Well, that's a hell of a thing. You can't go to the beach now on the excessively hot day because you were waxing the surfboard. I was just going surfs up.
Yeah, right.
Tugging the tide.
Really?
Sanding the driftwood. Mm-hmm. Playing Concha Lunka Ding Dong. Applying sunscreen to the banana hammock. This is a list, by the way.
Oh, no, you don't say.
I didn't make these up.
These aren't coming off the top of your head?
No, I didn't.
I feel deceived.
Punching the jellyfish. Testing the saltwater pressure valve.
Right.
Casting off with Captain Hook.
Mm-hmm.
Doing a solo snorkel session. Making a splash in Poseidon's pocket.
How about erecting a sandcastle?
No, that's not in there, but we can do that.
There you go.
Shucking the sea cucumber. Releasing the kraken under a towel.
Right.
I don't think he was using a towel. Releasing the sea turtle. Beating the beach sausage.
All right. You know, honestly, the beach is no place for that. I'm sorry.
Well, if you're by yourself.
Even
and there's nobody around. Nobody's going to see it. But when you're doing it in front of a bunch of people who are enjoying a beach day, they don't want to see you polishing the lighthouse, if you will. Shaking hands with the milkman.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Testing the emergency broadcast system.
Dusting off the sandbar.
Whittling the woodpecker. Slapping the ketchup packet.
Right.
Or unlocking the protein vault. I like that.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
But there's a time and a place, and on the beach is really no time. I mean, you wouldn't want to do that. You wouldn't want to do that on like a busy beach like Misquamicut when there's like 15,000 other people besides you on that beach.
Yeah, I don't know why people feel the need to break out.
Listen, that's really something that's my own. That's me time. That's not something to bring out into the public.
I don't even think the beach is a sexy place. It really isn't. I mean,
you got sand, you got seaweed, you got seagulls thinking you're fiddling with a snack.
That's not like I guess maybe a romantic walk on the beach.
Even then, it's like you don't just like pull it out on the beach.
But no romance movie has ever shown the horseflies coming to bite you and putting on bug spray.
Yeah, right.
And everything else. Everything is all so nice and peachy, beachy, if you will.
Right.
Yeah, they don't show the real horror of going to a beach.
There's I like the beach. The beach I enjoy being on the ocean and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But there are things that happen on a beach where you just go, man, this should really never be seen in public.
You gotta carry all that stuff from your car, bring it with you.
Dude, we got
set it up.
We got a cart with these big inflatable wheels on it.
Yeah.
Best thing we ever bought.
Inflatable wheels.
Yeah, they're like you pump them up full of air.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to pump it up too much,
right?
Because they got to go through the sand and everything.
Yeah.
Thing's fantastic. I remember the days where I used to wrench my back lifting a big heavy cooler with ice and drinks and snacks and stuff like that. And then when you're done, you got to go bring it back to the car. What a pain in the ass.
Yeah, especially in this kind of heat.
Yeah. Now you just pop it in the cart. Got a couple chairs. Got the umbrella. Got all the bag full of lotions and what have you.
I also do you have as you age has your beach chair evolved? Like
yes.
Is it no longer the low lawn chair type beach chair?
We used to go to Charlestown in Rhode Island every year and had a very, very low sitting chair. And at my age, getting out of a chair that low is really not as easy as it used to be, and nor is getting into the chair that's that low. My wife bought me a chair that sits up, so it's like a regular, almost like a backyard chair, like like a patio chair. Yeah. Sits up, it's nice and comfortable.
Is it one of those electronic lift you up
out
of the seat chair?
No, it's not like one of them Craftmatic adjustable chairs.
I was gonna say,
no, it's not one of those. But I'm able to sit down, get up without a problem. Again, comfort. That's my middle name.
They don't sell those Craftmatic beds anymore. That's a thing. That went by the way of the dinosaur, didn't it? The Craftmatic adjustable bed. And Art Linkletter was the one selling them.
Yeah, right. But they've been replaced by other adjustable beds.
Yeah.
With mattresses that adjust, and you lift your feet, lift your head. You can do all kinds of things now with a bed.
Yeah, I actually I bought one of those years ago for like less than $400. They have the foam mattresses now.
Yeah.
You don't need to spend like thousands of dollars on a bed anymore. You can buy the mattress in a box.
Yeah.
And the memory foam is way more comfortable than a lot of these other the beds. Maybe not as comfortable as a Sleep Number bed.
No, those are kind of expensive.
Yes, but can you really afford another restless night's sleep?
I suppose I can't.
Right. But those memory foam ones. So I bought these. I bought them actually for my kids when we moved into our house. Less than $400 each. They're adjustable beds.
Nice.
Yeah.
And again, you guys like the adjustments?
It's like the old Craftmatic.
Oh man, I always thought that'd be so cool to have. Never had that.
The Craftmatic adjustable bed.
Yeah, I
could sit up and watch TV while you're sitting there.
Yeah, I could raise my feet, in case for whatever reason I was losing blood flow to the brain, that kind of thing. It'd be really good to have, for those of you who have circulation issues.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm just going throughout the news here. You ready?
Sure.
A 70-year-old beekeeper in Spain was so upset about being stopped by police, he sicked one of his bees on the police, forcing them to take shelter in a nearby restaurant. Didn't that there was some lady in Longmeadow that did that?
Yes.
You remember that? She opened up the cage while the sheriffs were kicking around. It was like an eviction or something like that, and then she sicked the bees on them.
I remember that. I think the state police were involved.
Yeah.
Everybody was involved in that one.
It was a sting operation. Wah, 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 wah. Let's see. People from various careers are sharing the industry secrets that they think the public deserves to know, like you should always wash new clothing before wearing it. Well, underwear, maybe. But if you buy a shirt, do you really need to wash the shirt?
Sometimes there's sizing that the company puts in there.
There isn't a larger than normal call volume, and people sometimes clean their underwear in the kettles in hotel rooms.
Ooh, gross.
That's disgusting.
First of all, what kettle?
Here's a guy who I own a sign shop, and I can tell you with 100% certainty that almost all businesses fail within the first year. If you think you're going to open a restaurant or a boutique, you're about to lose a bunch of money. Also, no matter what business you want to start, go talk to your local sign guy and ask how many businesses have been in that location and failed. Trust me, we know which locations are cursed. That's actually a pretty good insight.
That is, actually.
Here's another one. I used to work for a major talent agency in Hollywood, and a lot of the Academy voters never watched the screeners or let their assistants vote on their behalf. Well, that's clear.
Actually, wasn't there some sort of initiative this last year or for next year
that they had to watch?
That they had, if you're going to be a voting member of the Academy, you had to watch everything.
Right, because how many
that
times
was nominated
has something won Best Picture, and you're like, that piece of crap won?
That's happened a number of times.
That's because your assistant Judy picked the thing.
Judy's a dope.
Right.
Wouldn't know a good movie if it bludgeoned her in the face.
I'm in insurance. If you call to request an estimate for a claim, they will count it as a $0 claim on your file when they deem the damage not enough to repair. That means when another company pulls your information, it will not only impact your future rates, but might make you ineligible for future policies. Don't ever call insurance for an estimate first. Get a third-party inspector to tell you whether you should file with insurance.
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
That's probably good advice.
They like to screw you. Always wash your new clothing before you wear it, even if it looks fresh and new. It's been thrown on the floor, moved around in a dusty warehouse, tried on by a sweaty post-gym person, and probably sat in a stinky, humid shipping container for 2 months. Plus, you want to wash off all the starching finished products when making it look new.
Yeah, as I said, there's all that sizing. It probably sticks to people's bodies when they're trying it in the fitting room.
People cleaning their underwear in kettles is a huge problem in hotels. We find so many forgotten underpants in the kettle. What do you mean the kettle?
This must be like a European thing.
But they're talking about the sink probably. And I can't even assume how many we didn't catch. They don't use them. If you want a nicer room in a hotel, book it with doctor or professor before your name. That's actually a really good idea. Huh. You want a nicer room, you put down doctor. So I can put Dr. Nagle.
They never check.
You know what? I'm going to try that next time. Next time I book a hotel, I'm going to put doctor.
Yeah, when you do your road trips, do you just usually stay someplace overnight?
It depends, but yeah.
Because that would be a good way to test it. So if it was like a hotel that you normally went to like every year, like on your way on a road trip or something, and then you say like a reservations for Dr. Nagle and his 2 daughters.
Yeah.
See what kind of room upgrade you get.
I want to try that.
I like that idea.
Yeah. Well, maybe I gave the secret away. Now, it's all over the internet anyway. When you're traveling privately, take a card from any hotel testing company with you and give it to the reception when you arrive to enter as the address for your bill. Staff will be extra nice to you. What is that? How does that work?
I don't even know that. I didn't understand
any of that. When you're
anything.
traveling privately, take a card from any hotel testing company with you.
What are you talking about? I don't know
what that means.
A hotel testing company.
Yeah. Huh.
I that's the first I've ever hearing of one. A hotel testing company. Become a hotel tester and quality tester. Apparently, you can sign up to become one.
Oh, so they're saying that if they think you're one of these people that is reviewing the hotel, they will give you a nicer room. Yeah, I'd rather just go with the doctor title. That's easier than trying to go through that charade.
A hotel tester is also known as a mystery guest or secret shopper, an individual hired by hotels to evaluate and assess the quality of their services, facilities, and overall guest experience. They play a crucial role in ensuring that hotels meet and exceed customer expectations.
So what they're saying is get a hotel testing company, get a card from them, and then give it to the hotel clerk going, yeah, by the way, I want the bill sent to this address.
I like it. I'll have to try that out.
Let's see. Jewelry. Leaving online shopping items in your cart while logged in will let you put into an automated discount offer stream. So if you intend to buy anyway, leave it in your cart for a few days and see if you get a marketing email with a discount code. All right.
Actually, I have done that.
Yeah.
But like if you do it like an Amazon, sometimes the price will either increase or decrease.
It mostly increases.
Not all the time. Sometimes just based on what they may have in stock, it will decrease. I've seen that. I've seen it go both ways.
How dirty the fruits you put in drinks are. I quit getting oranges in my Blue Moons because I figured the orange drove up from Florida, got to North Dakota, was never washed, got cut up, and was put in my drink. It grosses me out.
I've always been told that when you have like a drink and you want lemon in it, you say put lemon on the side. And you just squeeze the lemon in there because the peel of the lemon or the lime.
Because somebody's touched it and nobody washed the outside.
Exactly.
That's gross. I've been eating lemons all wrong these years. You know what? I should have asked you earlier.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying.
Well, I'm glad we got to all of
Oh, you have no idea. Yeah. It's 8:25 on Rock 102.
Hi. Got the forecast for you.
Let's see here. Hey, just for anyone who's been noticing there's been some goofy stuff with the podcast this week. There's been a little bit of a technical problem. It'll all be resolved. Yesterday's show was reposted. Baxy's musical podcast this week. That'll get fixed a little bit later on today. So if you've been looking for it and having no luck getting it, a little bit of a technical issue. We will take care of it, and you'll be able to listen to those podcasts right away.
All right.
Just feels I got to say something because, people are wondering.
Well, people were asking me yesterday, were you lazy? You didn't put the podcast up today?
Yeah, laziness.
Sometimes it's beyond my control. It is way beyond my control. I put the thing up twice, and it didn't finish processing. And it's not my problem. I don't work for SoundCloud. What do I look like, SoundCloud customer service?
No.
And good luck getting a hold of somebody at SoundCloud.
And you call them all day long, get nowhere.
Yeah, nothing.
So anyway, that'll all get resolved today. So if you're looking for those podcasts, they will be ready. Actually, the yesterday's show podcast is up.
Yeah.
My interview with Brian Sweet from the book with
Brian
Steely Dan.
Setzer.
No, I tell you what, I've done so many interviews with guys named Brian this year. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's coming up, and I'll have that fixed later on today.
And it was actually Brain. You were talking to Brain.
No.
Didn't you ever see that group Brain Damaged in downtown Springfield when they that Pink Floyd cover band?
Brian Damage, I believe it was. Yeah, Brian.
Right.
Right.
Brian. Yeah.
And Aquanit.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, right. You're getting them mixed up.
It was Brian.
It was Brian Damage, Aquanit,
and she messed up Trailer Trash too. I'm trying to remember what the hell.
You know what?
Said.
That video got removed.
Really?
Yeah. Somebody was a little upset.
I don't know why. It's a good video, man.
Yeah.
It's a real
you
good
gotta
video.
Embrace your screw ups. I do.
We do it every day.
I'm getting thousands of views on TikTok for purposely mispronouncing things.
It's 8:30. We got news next on Rock 102. Here, 8:33 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's time for news. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Well, thanks, Bax.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Extreme heat and humidity continues again today. It was a record-breaking hot day yesterday. We reached 99 at Westover Air Force Base, breaking the previous record of 94 set back in 1975. You remember that day back in 1975?
Do I?
Barnes and Westfield
I was 9 years old at the time. It was the hottest day of my life.
Barnes and Westfield reached 100. Westover has not officially reached 100 since July 22nd of 2011. It was another warm and humid start this morning with temperatures in the middle 70s. Today's first alert weather day. This is Liam Neeson, by the way. Due to extreme heat, today's highs are expected to reach around 100 for the Pioneer Valley and between 90 to 95 in the Berkshires. It's still not cooler up where I live. It's not like it's like, wow, this is so much better than being down in the valley.
Mm-hmm.
It's still hot. Extreme heat warning is in effect for Central and Hampden, Eastern and Hampden counties, Hampshire, Franklin counties through 8 p.m. tonight. So get some cooling towels. You're gonna need them. You're absolutely gonna need them.
Those things do work, by the way. You ever have one of those? One of those cooling towels?
The cooling towel?
Yeah. I mean, it's like a wet piece of cloth, but it stays cold.
Yeah.
It's a scientific miracle.
A miracle.
Well, it's a major breakthrough.
Can't you just put a cold pack on the back of your neck?
Well, yeah, I suppose you could do that too.
That would be the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
I was always told you put a cool towel on the back of your neck because that's where your blood's pumping through and it eventually cools the blood down. I don't know if that's like an old wives' tale or whatever. I don't know.
I don't know, Steve. All I know is this is not the day to think, oh, what a perfect day to go out for a run.
Yeah, don't do that.
Let's play tennis today. That would be a good thing to do.
Pickleball.
It's only 100 degrees out. What could possibly go wrong except all of a sudden I've got a paddle and then I'm a puddle with a hat on it?
Ludlow Animal Control is looking to find a home for Raymond the Chihuahua.
I believe it's pronounced Chihuahua.
I've heard you say Chihuahua before.
Steve, it is pronounced Chihuahua.
They describe him as having a heart full of opinions and a face that says, "Don't talk to me unless you have the right cheese." That's the way I look to people. I have a heart full of opinions.
Sure.
I have a face that says, "Don't talk to me unless you have the right cheese." Animal Control added that although he treats every new human like a potential serial killer, he's actually very happily, wiggly, and surprisingly delightful bundle of charm. That's not selling the sizzle.
No, he's not.
He treats every new human like a potential serial killer.
I think if you really want a pet to be adopted, you have to focus on the positive sides.
How does he treat them like a serial killer? Does he talk to them like the son of Sam was talking to those dogs?
I don't know.
Kill.
Unless this dog is completely consumed with fear, which is also possible from those dogs.
Raymond prefers the company of women and doesn't mind other dogs. But officers said he shouldn't be around kids under the age of 10 unless they've completed advanced diplomacy training. Officers said you'll need patience, sense of humor, maybe a bottle of wine or two. The dog drinks wine?
My God, this is going to be a very expensive dog.
And nerves of steel if you're ready for a relationship that starts with mutual distrust and ends with Stockholm Syndrome. The cute kind. They really need to rework their marketing on selling the dog.
Maybe this is the best thing they can say about that dog. Maybe these are the highlights.
Well, maybe we should write a like a Tinder ad for the Chihuahua. You know?
Yeah.
I like long walks. I like crapping on your yard, and I don't like men. I like women better.
I put the hua in Chihuahua.
Your mother was a hua. Noah, she was a Chihuahua. Zing pow. Chihuahua. This is probably the dumbest radio show in America.
Easy.
Yeah.
I defy anyone to show me one that's dumber.
Did you see Pat Kelly, by the way? His fart machine has been confiscated.
For good reason.
Thank God. And now he's doing this whole, if I find out who took it, there'll be hell to pay.
I'm pretty sure he may have left it behind, and I'm not sure it was his to begin with.
Did you ever feel embarrassed for somebody?
All the time.
That happened Friday in the conference room when we were eating our barbecue.
What happened?
He showed up in the superhero.
The Batman costume?
Yeah. And he's, trying to do the Batman voice while he's doing it, and it just wasn't landing. And it was almost like it's like the guy you give 5 minutes to at the shortstop and go, "Okay, nobody's responding to this." Like you're not even getting a laugh.
All right, but at least at the shortstop or at an open mic, you give the guy credit for trying.
Well, you give the guy credit for trying, and he has a chance to redeem himself, which Pat Kelly has done many times.
He's been working here for almost 20 years.
But we keep giving him chance after chance.
How long we got to let this go on?
But it's almost like, I do dumb videos. You do dumb videos.
Mm-hmm.
But not that dumb.
Listen, only one time did I wear a prop.
When?
I wore a king's hat, a king's crown on one.
As of recently.
Recently.
But in other videos we've done,
I'm not a prop comic.
Yeah.
I use my clever wit and wacky repartee.
I mean, those Nagle Please videos are like cringy to watch now. Just cringy. They're just like you ever look back on something you did years ago and you're like, why the hell did I? It's like listening to we should bring in our air check tapes from years ago.
Oh my God.
Do you have any Milwaukee ones or?
I'm not sure.
I mean, I know I have old ones of you here, but I don't know if I have any, if you have any from when you were.
Maybe on old cassettes.
Yeah.
That's how far back it goes.
I have a really dumb one. I actually have the demo tape I sent here.
And I listened to that.
Yeah.
I listened to that with the boss at the time.
Yeah, and he saw some potential in there somehow.
Well, you got to understand.
How do you do that?
You got to understand. It's all relative.
Yeah.
I mean, he was comparing you with this population of people that should never be allowed within 4 miles of a microphone.
Right.
So in that pile,
the best of the worst.
You were the best of the worst.
I don't know if that's a compliment or.
Well, let's just say you've grown into the position.
Yeah. I guess I don't do this anymore.
We saw a slight glimmer of hope, and you ran with it, and you developed into what you are today.
But everybody,
what are you today?
Just remember, hope is delayed disappointment, and here we are.
Proving it
time and time again. How did this guy ever even get to be where he is today?
Hey, I made a whole career out of that.
Yeah. I really didn't find the fart machine to be. Listen, I give him credit for doing what we're asked to do. We're asked to kind of do a ridiculous task here and keep creating videos. But I found it a little like, okay, that might have been funny for 1 or 2 videos.
Mm-hmm.
But to continually try to do that just doesn't seem like.
Well, maybe, but you gotta understand he's working with missing pieces in the tackle box right now.
He's like the full 6-pack, but he's missing that little plastic thing that holds it together.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's just a loose bunch of cans.
Right. Staying in a literal doghouse would have been smarter than this. A 44-year-old Florida man is facing charges after police say he broke into a vacant home because he didn't want to go home to his angry wife. That's not a crime.
No. It's a reaction.
Police in Davenport got a call on June 9th from the homeowner's neighbor.
Homeowner says what?
What? Oh.
I got you again.
Who was watching the house while they were away. The neighbor said they saw lights turn on and off inside. So the police showed up to check it out and found the guy making dinner. He also just finished filling up the tub for a nice warm bath. He admitted that he didn't have permission to be there and didn't know the owners. He just didn't want to go home because him and his wife had a big fight. And he had been there for 4 days.
Damn.
He's facing multiple charges, including a felony charge for unarmed burglary. No word on whether the wife bailed him out or even if he wanted her to. If he was in a house for 4 days, at least you're getting free meals now. Somebody else is cooking them for you.
I suppose.
Yeah. That's seemingly a pretty dumb idea.
What are you going to do? Sometimes you got to make choices.
And clearly the wife didn't care enough about him to find out where he was. If you're missing for 4 days.
Well, if you're in a situation where a wife doesn't care where you've been for 4 days, then she doesn't care whether you're going to be gone for 5 or 6.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
At what point does she start caring? Obviously, this is a damaged relationship.
Why even bother being married then?
Well, it's
anyway. I think I'm tapping out.
It's too hot to do a radio show.
It's way too hot to do a radio show.
I'm starting to feel woozy.
Excessive heat today, with a high of 99. The index will feel much hotter than that. Tomorrow, things start to cool off with a high of only 93. It is already 88 in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a Shop Tuesday today. This morning at 9, if you go to rock102.com, you can save up to 30% off at Nini's Ristorante. Authentic Italian American cuisine, incredible Italian cannoli, pizza, pasta, seafood, a full bar. Great for the family or a date. If you don't have either one of those, you can still probably go there all by yourself with $30 off at Nini's. 9 o'clock at the Shop 30 store at rock102.com. Do not miss out. That's a good place.
These videos that I've been doing with the mispronounced town names.
Right.
And I told you the one I had last week where I had the big wad of spit hanging off the top of my lip, and I didn't notice it until after I had. And like a part of me was like, do I take it down or do I just leave it up? I'll just leave it up.
Leave it up.
I'm not going to. It was already gaining some traction anyway, so you might as well. Yeah, that might actually give it a little more flair to it.
My wife was telling me yesterday, she's like, oh, I just saw that the video of Steve. All I could see was that ball of spit on his mouth.
But you watched it, didn't you?
I think she swiped it. I watched it because I, Steve, appreciate the art behind all of it.
There's still a lot of people who haven't actually seen the wad of spit hanging off the end of my lip during that entire video. I told you I was going to eat like a whole bag of cherries and then just do a video to kind of make up.
Yeah, like red teeth and everything.
Yeah, it's disgusting when you have spit hanging off the top of your lip. But still, even beyond, a lot of people don't see that, and they focus on the fact. And I made up this stupid story about how basketball was invented by this guy, and it wasn't Naismith, and it wasn't. And somebody commented on the Rock 102 video last night. It was James Naismith. What's wrong with you? And I go, I think you're making that up.
Not the way I've read the story.
Yeah, and then I did one yesterday about East Longmeadow, which I called it East Lawn Metal, where it was started by Puritans who were part of a homeowners association that would put in all these town bylaws and whatnot.
Sure.
And I also mentioned that the town is famous for infamous and famous for its 7-spoked rotary, which I said was done by the engineer who had way too many Jaeger bombs at the pizza shop one night and just said, we're going to go with this, right? So, but also then somebody chimed in on this. It's obviously an older lady. That rotary wasn't too bad in the late 50s when we would venture into East Longmeadow to buy dresses for school and Easter. Can't remember the name of the shop, though. People like to reminisce. They're not...
Why do these responses all of a sudden sound like a Gary Brown column?
Back in my day, yeah. If you've got gray hair on your pubic area, you might remember the East Longmeadow Rotary Dress Shop.
Maybe if you're old enough, you'll remember buying a sandwich at Ramito's.
If you're wearing Depends right now and they're a little soaked, you might remember Steiger's. That good old Gary Brown.
Yeah, God bless him.
Missed.
He is. God bless him.
Yeah, good times.
So what's the next town?
I don't know. People. That's the cool thing. People have been asking me to do their town now. And then somebody said yesterday, I was been waiting for you to do East Longmeadow.
So what have you done? You've done East Longmeadow.
East Longmeadow.
Springfield.
East Hampton.
East Hampton. You've done Cummington.
Middlefield. No, Cummington, Middlefield, and Westfield.
Okay.
And I think that was it. I think that's it so far.
Yeah.
Oh, Amherst and Hadley. Yeah.
Hadley.
So the first deli in Massachusetts.
Yeah, Hadley and asparagus.
Yeah. So if you have any suggestions, you can leave them on the social media page, or you can text the Route 10 Tire listener line at 293-1021. Tell them which town should I mispronounce and do next.
I'm telling you, you're the John Olver of TikTok. You've been everywhere, man.
It's funny because it's usually the stupidest thing you do that gets the most traction. You know, I for months we've been trying to get traction, and I'm doing videos about weather and wrapping up the car with a blanket and doing all this stupid stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was on a whim. I did that because we have to produce these videos. They're making us produce these videos. So when I did that Berkshire one a couple of weeks ago,
yeah,
I just said, let me just mispronounce the name, and I wasn't even thinking it was going to get any more than a couple of hundred views, and it got 28,000 views.
It's out of line.
The Chicopee one has gotten the most with nearly 50,000 views.
Yeah, 48.1 thousand.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No one has come close to those numbers.
So if you have any suggestions, I think maybe Dudlow.
Okay, Ludlow.
Dudlow, yeah.
Dudlow. Have you done Holyoke yet?
I haven't done Holyoke yet.
The holiest of Holyokes.
Yeah, it's hard. You know what? Which I find difficult. I noticed that if you put the entering signs, the entering this town thing,
yeah,
that usually gets the traction for the video initially because people are like, oh, I know that. But like the one I did about Middlefield, I only had the old town sign up there, so it didn't have that like entering Middlefield type of thing. Do you know how hard it is to find those signs when you're actually looking for them?
You know, it's really easy.
What?
A Google search for images.
Yeah, I don't want to do that, though. I want to actually be in the I want to be authentic. I'm an authentic creator.
Since when?
Even though I did that one from my backyard yesterday. Well, I took a picture of the sign. And then days later, I did the video in my backyard pretending I was in East Longmeadow.
East Longmeadow.
Whatever.
Right.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
There you go.
So if you have a suggestion, let me know.
It's 8:58 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Rock 102's Classic.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 9/11 and the Police with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Excessive heat warning is in effect until tomorrow. It is going to be hot, hazy, and humid today with a high of 99, but the heat index making it feel much hotter than that. It is 89 right now in downtown Springfield.
Good Lord.
Are you ready for some fun facts back?
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it hits you in the nads. The backs of life.
The backs of
The
life.
backs of life. We're not always
Number one.
Number one.
Fire calls peak Saturdays in July, least in April. So you have the Saturdays, the fire peaks.
Okay.
And also the month of July, but the least of them happen in April. I once sent my junk on fire by trying to wax myself with a citronella candle. April's quiet because that's when nobody's touching me, not even me. Number two.
Number two.
No man has won Best Actor in a Debut. 4 women have, though. Which makes sense. I once faked an orgasm just to stop crying. My best performance was pretending I knew where the thing was. Yeah. Number three. Dolores. Number three. Bovary. Celeste. Number three.
Number three.
Chili's has an upside-down picture for luck.
Really?
Yeah. I had sex after Chili's once. She called it experimental. I called it the last time I felt joy. Number four. Coke and Pepsi made whipped cream cans for space. I've done the same. I've blasted whipped cream at zero gravity, too, except it was me alone in a recliner watching stepmom videos on mute. Number five. Bananas and eggplants are berries, but strawberries are not.
Really?
So the fruit I sexed with are legit berries, and the ones I eat on real dates are frauds. Story of my life, Netflix and Jill. And there's your fun fact.
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it hits you in the nads. The backs of life.
The backs of
The
life.
backs of life.
It's Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.